Welcome to the Deciders Research 101 video. After this presentation, you will better understand what research is, the importance of doing research on health outcomes, and why it is important that you are here today. If you have any questions at the end, please ask one of your facilitators. So let's start with the story. There once was a community that wanted to improve the overall health of the people who live there. They started by asking the question, so what is health? The dictionary says that health is a condition of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, especially free from physical disease or pain. Knowing this, the community wanted to know, how do health experts define health? The World Health Organization says that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. The World Health Organization's definition can be shown as a health triangle. The health triangle has physical, social, and mental health sides. So the people in the community, knowing that health has so many different aspects, wondered if the purple smog was making them unhealthy. They needed to figure out an answer to that very question. They needed research. But what is research? Research is a process of asking a question and getting a meaningful answer. But members of the community had many different views on what research is. In fact, when we asked people, what is research? They said monkeys, mice, rats, guinea pigs. They also said the Tuskegee syphilis study and testing drugs on people. People also said that when they thought of research, they thought of data, lots of information, and numbers. The community knew that research could bring them answers to their questions about purple smog. Research is important because it can bridge the gap between questions and answers. Many people in the community had breathing problems and asthma. This led the community members to ask questions about breathing problems, shortness of breath, and asthma. Research can help answer questions about health. They might not be exactly the same questions that community members have about their own health, but they can ask questions like, what happens in the body during an asthma attack? Or how many people have asthma? Health research uses experiments and other scientific ways to learn more about what affects human health, such as what causes asthma or asthma attacks? What are the triggers? Exercise, cold air, smoking. Experiments are also used to learn what is important to people about their own health, such as measuring how asthma affects the way someone lives or their quality of life. Doing research can give meaningful answers. At one time, scientists used to think that asthma was psychological and that children who wheezed were just crying out for their mother. With research, scientists found inflammation blocked the airways, making it difficult to breathe. Now asthma is treated with anti-inflammatory medicines, like inhaled steroids. Research tries to discover better ways to prevent or treat diseases. These could be questions like, does asthma medication work for kids? Or does raw milk prevent asthma? Health research also discovers ways to improve health in many different settings. Rural communities are often left with little choice for care. Research can find ways to improve care in rural areas. Improving patient care is another goal of health research. This includes research on how to help people avoid asthma attacks that cause them to go to the emergency room, and how to make asthma medication more affordable. To sum it up, research uses experiments and other scientific ways to learn about what affects human health, to learn what is most important to people about health, to provide ideas about health, discover better ways to prevent or treat diseases, discover ways to improve health, and discover ways to improve patient care. Research uses what we know to find out what we don't know. We know that asthma tends to run in families, but what we don't know is why. Health research has found some answers to asthma, like how to diagnose asthma, treating children and pregnant women, what to do in the event of an asthma attack, long-term treatments, and tracking asthma triggers. Health research has found some answers to other questions that have improved health. like vaccines for preventable diseases, suicide prevention techniques, HIV/AIDS treatments, ways to prevent the common cold, cancer treatments, environmental safety laws, organ transplant techniques, tests to see if someone is having a heart attack, ways to find and treat mental illness, better care for the aging population, and much, much more. The community understood what research was and how it could help answer their questions about the purple smog. Now they had questions about how to fund this research. Purple smog was a big concern in their community, but the purple smog was not a priority for spending for any foundation or government agency. At a monthly meeting, leaders told large crowds of community members that there was not anything that could be done about the purple smog because it was not a research priority. In the back of the room, a little girl raised her hand and asked, "Where do research priorities come from?" So who pays for health research? There are a few places where a lot of health research is funded. To mention a few, pharmaceutical companies, the government, rich donors, or charities. In 2011, industry paid $80 billion for research. The government paid $40 billion. And other sources like St. Jude's Children's Hospital, the American Heart Association, Susan G. Komen for the Cure, and colleges and universities paid $20 billion for research. So where does all this money come from? U.S. government organizations spend billions of dollars on health research every year. These are organizations like the National Institutes of Health, Centers for Disease Control, Department of Defense, Veterans Administration, and others. Your tax dollars pays for government research, but who decides what questions are most important? We want it to be you. In our story, the community wanted a voice in the health research funding process. They wanted to be heard. Now it is your turn. We know the research questions the community members had when dealing with the purple smog. Now we want to know your research questions you want to ask that would benefit your community. You have the ear of decision makers. They are listening to what health research issues are important to your community. To have your voice heard by decision makers, we're going to play a game called Chat, Choosing All Together. The game will help set research priorities for yourself and for your community. Thank you, and have fun playing Chat.